I've always had a soft spot for the courtroom drama. Both Anatomy of a Murder and 12 Angry Men are some of my favorite films of all time. And seeing that this year's Palme d'Or winner was Justine Triet's Anatomy of a Fall, and seeing that it's backed by Neon, which is probably the best production company right now, I was very excited, especially with the release of its official trailer, which I'll get to in just a second. Set in the background of the snowy countryside in France is the murder of Samuel, the husband of Sandra played by Sandra Huller, who's being tried as the murderer in a courtroom drama. And for the entirety of its 2.5-hour runtime, it's exactly that. A very delicate drama that revolves around the trial. But it goes deeper than that, and this is where expectations got really muddy for me. From the first trailer of the film, I thought this was going to be done with a brutal and cutthroat presentation, which it is, but it's not at all flashy. The editing is simplistic and not as influential to the story as I thought it'd be. In fact, the film really only had one song playing throughout, and it's the scathing and cold piano progression that Sandra and Samuel's son, Daniel, plays throughout the film. And it flows really well with the rest of the film's atmosphere. An atmosphere that tackles the themes of trauma and relationships through a veil of a courtroom drama, to a point where the courtroom is very much a storytelling device in itself, and not necessarily the actual genre of the film. It's dramatic, but not Hollywood dramatic. At the heart of the plot is of course Sandra Huller, who gives a phenomenal performance. It's a difficult role for you to act like you're not acting, and I feel like she's gone well above and beyond that bar. It's convincing and it feels very real, especially in those moments of vulnerability in the courtroom which can make or break a performance. It's the kind of portrayal that should have the awards roaring for her win, but oddly it's not. It's so great that I think she belongs in that tier with Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone for Best Actress. The film's supporting cast also gives a good chunk of solid performances, including Swan Arlaud, Milo Machado Grainer, and Samuel Tice, who played the defense lawyer, son, and husband respectively. But there is a clear standout character who really made his impression upon every scene he was in, and that's Antoine Reynards, who represents the prosecution. In a year where there have been very, let's say, impactful lawyer performances, first Jason Clarke in Oppenheimer,
well, then you would have killed the agent on too, wouldn't you? I didn't ask you that, Doctor!
And most recently Brendan Fraser in Killers of the Flower Moon.
I demand to confer privately with Mr. Burkhardt.
Two very different performances. Antoine's take on the role is a good, healthy mix of the two, being both arrogant and playful with his performance, albeit in a very sarcastic tone. The film was also shot very well. Again, it's not flashy, but it's very pretty and beautiful to look at. As I said earlier, this was more of a drama that uses the courtroom as a veil of the actual story. And with that, it also affects its structure, given that it is very quiet and minimalist. There's no climax you'd see from your conventional courtroom drama, and I've seen and liked films that have very muted endings, but I felt like this was not the case with Anatomy of a Fall. Sure, a giant weight's been lifted off, but it felt like something was missing in the final act. Not only that, the film goes on for another 15 minutes to show the fallout from the trial, and I really wasn't as moved as I thought I'd be. I was left more awkward with its ending than anything. It felt a bit lacking for an otherwise great film with a clever twist in its story structure. I'm feeling a strong 4 to 5 on this. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.